The India-Pakistan rivalry is a theater of perpetual friction where the first shot has already been fired 1,000 times before. Not through conventional invasion, but through a slow motion strangulation of trust and resources. While the world fears a nuclear exchange between these two countries, the reality is a cold, calculated campaign of attrition. India will likely not seek a total war. Instead, it will utilize a strategy of diplomatic isolation, internal overextension, and hydraulic leverage. I will explain all these three strategic vectors in detail because I study geopolitics for fun in my free time. Number one is economic and diplomatic pressure. India is currently the world's fifth largest economy, while Pakistan's financial situation is on the brink of structural collapse. New Delhi has realized it, and they know that they don't really need to win a war on the battlefield when it can win through the global banking system. By leveraging its growing influence within the Financial Action Task Force and other influences like, BRICS nations, India can ensure Pakistan remains grey listed or financially stigmatized. One policy shift from New Delhi can discourage foreign direct investment across the region. India is also aggressively decoupling its trade, making sure that while it grows at like 7% annually, Pakistan remains tethered to high interest loans and IMF bailouts. This creates a widening power gap that makes conventional parity impossible for Islamabad to maintain. However, Pakistan still has China on their side. Number two is the gray zone warfare and proactive deterrent strategy. The days of India's strategic restraint are over. New Delhi has shifted toward gray zone warfare, a space between peace and total war. India's new doctrine focuses on surgical strikes and cross-border aerial incursions, such as the Balakot incident, to signal that the cost of proxy warfare is now unbearable. Simultaneously, India can increase the frequency of maritime drills in the North Arabian Sea to shadow Pakistani trade routes. By forcing Pakistan to stay on high alert 24/7, India exhausts Pakistan's limited defense budget and wears out its military hardware. Propaganda campaigns are also focused on internal fractures, like those in heavily disputed regions and domestically unstable cities and places. However, in the last confrontation between the two, basically Pakistan triumphed over India's weaponry. You know what that means. Number three is the weaponization of Indus waters. Hydraulic leverage, like I said before. The most lethal card India holds is not a missile, but a cap. Under the Indus Water Treaty, the western rivers flow through in Indian-controlled Kashmir before reaching Pakistan's agricultural heartland. India has begun fast-tracking massive run-of-the-river hydroelectric projects like Ratel and Kishanganga. While technically within the treaty's bounds, these projects give India the technological capacity to regulate water flow. In a period of heightened tension, a technical delay in water, or a sudden discharge during monsoon could devastate Pakistan's agricultural economy. This water hegemony creates a state of permanent anxiety in Islamabad. As they know their survival depends on the restraint of a neighbor they consider an existential enemy. The conclusion is clear. This is a high-stake game of chicken where India is waiting for the weight of Pakistan's own internal contradictions to cause a collapse. To the people of the subcontinent, the cards are being shuffled, and the house always favors the one with the deeper pockets and upstream advantage. Well, this is jibber-jabber for almost anything. But the reality is this. Pakistan cannot overcome India, and India can never overcome Pakistan. Why? Nuclear deterrence. But economically, Pakistan has no choice but to rely so much on the Middle East and China. Therefore, without China, Pakistan falls. Without China, the newly formed Arabian alliance, the military alliance between Saudi Arabia and Pakistan, will fall. Yeah. So China is the key player.